This video will be based off laws of indices. Now you have probably about 4, 5, or 6 laws of indices in which you need to know for the CXC maths exam. Number 1, law 1, if we are multiplying, so for example x to the n by x to the m, so if we are multiplying, bottoms are the same, we add the powers or we add the exponents, so this would be equal to x to the n plus m. A question based off this could be probably let's say x to the fourth multiplied by x to the 3 would be equal to, remember we are multiplying, want the bases are the same base, common base, we add the powers, so we would have x to the fourth plus 3, which would give us x to the 7th, or we could have, for example, 2 squared multiplied by 2 cube, which is equal to, remember we are multiply, bases are the same, we add the powers, it would be, and this is application of law of indices, it will be 2 to the 2nd power plus 3, which would be equal to 2 to the 5th power. Now if they want the answer in terms of the power in exponential form, this would be the answer, or if they wanted the exact answer for this, the answer would be 32, meaning 2 to the 5th is not 5 times 2 or 2 times 5, but this is referring to 2 multiplying by itself 5 times. The power is going to indicate how many times you're going to multiply this 2 by itself. So it's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. How many 2's? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 2's 4, 4 2's 8, 8 2's 16, and 16 times 2 is 32. So the law indices, it's very important. So that's just law 1. Law 2. So law 2 is basically the opposite of this one. Whenever we are dividing and the bases are the same, we would subtract, it's the opposite, as I said, it's the opposite of this. When we multiply, bases are the same, we add the tops. With this one, we are divide, bases are the same. What's the opposite of addition? Subtraction. So in this case, we would subtract the powers or the exponent. So it would be x to the n minus m. And few examples of this one. Let's say we had like 6 to the 3 divided by 6 squared, which would be equal to, remember we divide, bases are the same, we're going to subtract powers, so it would be 6 to the 3 minus 2, which would be equal to 6 to the 1, or just 6. So 6 to the power of 1 is just 6. That's law 2. Law 3. Law 3 indicates that whenever we have a variable or a number, for example, but I'm just going to use x, whenever we have a number raised to a power and it's raised to another power, we would multiply the exponents or multiply the powers. So we would have x to the n m, because n times m is nm. How could a few examples for this one? X squared, so this x is raised to the power 2 raised to another power 3. What would we do? We would raise the we would do what? We would multiply the powers. So it would be x to the 2 times 3, which is equal to x to the 6. Another one, we could have 3 to the power of 2 raised to another power 2, which is equal to, what am I going to do? I'm going to multiply the powers. So it would be 3 to the 2 times 2, which would be equal to 3 to the 4th. As I said before, if they wanted the answer in exponential form, meaning they want the exponent without solve, they want the base with the exponent, would leave it like this, exponential form. But what if they wanted us to give them the exact value? The answer would be 81. How did I get 81? 3 squared multiplied by 3 squared. So I'm going to apply the law number 1 to it. So 3 squared, we would add the powers, we get 4. So 3 squared is 9. So it would be 9 multiplied by 3 squared is also 9. And 9 times 9 is 81. So those are 3 of the rules, or 3 of the laws, I should say. Another thing, you could just watch the video and go through it very slowly to really understand these laws. You have a few more laws. So that was law number 3. Law number 4. Anything raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Anything at all raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Even if you have, for example, the word sun raised to the power of 0, the answer is 1. That's a typical example. So if we had, for example, 100 raised to the power of 0, it's also going to be 1. So remember, anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. So law number 5, anything raised to a negative power is 1 divided by the number raised to a positive power. So I'm going to repeat that. If we have x to the negative 3, so anything raised to a negative power is 1 divided by that number raised to the positive power. So basically what I did, I just flip it. So for example, another example of this one, 2 raised to the negative 3 is equal to, remember, 1 divided by the same number raised to the positive power, which is equal to 1 over, now 2 cubed is 8. So this one would be 1 over 8. I'm going to go through a few questions after going through all the laws carefully. So that's law number 5. Don't think, well, yeah, just 5 laws you're supposed to know when going in the CXC math exam. I'm going to work a few binary operation. I'm going to work a few laws of indices questions in the next video, so you can look out for that one.